Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. I am here with a group of activists. We are outside Trader Joe's in San Francisco, where yesterday we had some amazing news that San Francisco just banned the sale of fur, and that is incredible. But there's a lot of work we still have to do. We still have to speak up for all the other animals that are being exploited, and this exploitation is being tolerated in San Francisco. So we are here today to do something that has never been done before as far as I know. We're going to try to do a very creative action, and I'm excited to show you and take you along as we do this. Also upgraded to a gimbal, so if this flips upside down in the middle of the live stream, that's why. So please share this video, and there is an ask in the caption. We're not going to ask people to do this quite yet. You're going to see what exactly we are about to do, but we're going to head into Trader Joe's now.
Hello.
Excuse me, everyone. I want to alert you to something that's happening right here at Trader Joe's. Eggs are being sold as humane, even certified humane. But the truth that was discovered in an undercover investigation is that the birds laying these eggs are living in piles of their own filth, piles of manure that trap them there so that they cannot even access their food or their water. Birds like Lucy are stuck, and they cannot survive, but slowly drown in their own waste. We are here today to call upon Trader Joe's to stop this awful practice, and we will be doing a visual demonstration right outside Trader Joe's where you can come and see the truth of how these birds are living. It is not humane, and it is not natural. So please come up and see what we are doing and see the story of Lucy, who was rescued from this hell. Lucy, who was rescued and for the first time in her life knows what it feels like to be clean. Because these birds naturally will want to be clean, but they are deprived of their most basic rights in the certified humane egg farms that Trader Joe's supplies.
All right, folks, so Cassie just delivered a speak out explaining what we are doing. She explained that we did an investigation of a certified humane egg farm that supplies Trader Joe's, and we found awful conditions, including animals like Lucy, a hen who we rescued, languishing in her own feces. And now we are going outside to demonstrate to the public what exactly is happening inside of these egg farms. So please stay tuned and share this video so you can see this creative, visual, and very unique action that we are about to do. So if you saw in the caption, there is a number that you can call, that you can talk to the Trader Joe's safety line, I guess, and tell them that, you know, there's nothing safe about the eggs that they're selling, considering that these eggs are covered in feces, the animals are languishing, they're sick, they're dying, and this is nothing natural or humane or anything like that. So please share this video and then post below if you have shared it, and also if you have called the number. So I'm just going to give you a little preview here of what's going on.
That's probably good enough, right? Is that a good enough bakery? Where do you want it? Where do you want it? Where do you want it? Just lay it down. Right here in the middle. Is that the big one?
We should make this bigger.
So we are getting set up here for our creative demonstration. Do you have any questions about what's going on here?
I have no idea. What are you guys doing?
Well, we are getting ready for a demonstration where we're going to be showing people what happens in the egg industry, especially at Trader Joe's, because we did an investigation of a Trader Joe's egg farm, and we found birds languishing in their own feces and stuff. So
yeah,
we're really supporting you guys.
Okay, awesome.
I'm a new vegan.
That's
I became vegan
awesome. That's so awesome.
like that.
Why did you go vegan?
Yeah, because I learned about how the animals are treated and how the planet is being destroyed in that industry.
Awesome.
So I don't want to contribute to harming our environment and harming the animals.
That's awesome. All right, I'm going to show you guys what's happening here. This is real manure, folks. Cassie is currently lying down in a pile of real manure to demonstrate what happens to animals in the animal agriculture industry and show solidarity with the animals who are forced to lay in these conditions for days without any food or water. So please, if you can, please share this video and call the number in the caption, because we need Trader Joe's to stop calling these eggs natural when they are the product of animals who are suffering so much and they're languishing in their own filth for days. When we found Lucy at this Trader Joe's egg farm, she was stuck in these piles of feces and she had no food or water. She literally had to eat feces to survive. And when we rescued her, she was dehydrated. We rushed her to the vet where she received treatment, and now she's finally living the life she deserves at a sanctuary. But that is not what happens to so many other animals who are still languishing on these farms. So you guys can't smell this obviously on the live stream, but it is a very powerful smell because this is real manure.
That they're putting on there?
This is real manure. And so what happened is we did an investigation of a Trader Joe's egg farm in Michigan, and we found that there were birds who were literally languishing in their own feces. They could not get food or water. They were stuck outside, and Trader Joe's is calling this natural. They are saying that it is certified humane, and there's nothing humane about this. So folks, a crowd is gathering here as they're watching this very creative and smelly display of what actually happens to animals in the egg industry. Trader Joe's says this is humane. Trader Joe's says this is certified humane, and there's nothing humane, there's nothing natural about this. So please call the number in the description of this video and call Trader Joe's and tell them that this is not natural and they need to stop calling eggs that are the products of violence and filth natural. Try it again. I'm gonna see how it looks. Like you can't get it to like show the top view.
Ano ba English ka?
There's a back wall. Yeah.
What do you think about what's going on today, Rachel?
I think this is how millions, if not billions of hens are living every year, and no one wants to live this way. It's absolutely disgusting. No one should be forced to live this way, and hens, like cats, want to be clean. My hens at home groom constantly, and no one should have to live in this environment.
So right now what you're seeing is Lucy. She's a hen that we rescued, and this is how she was, covered in her own feces, stuck in feces. And Cassie is now on the floor in solidarity with Lucy, also covered in feces. This is real manure from a sanctuary, and she's lying here in downtown San Francisco. So for folks who are just joining the live stream, we are outside of Trader Joe's in San Francisco, and we have an activist who is lying on the ground covered in real manure, covered in real feces. And this is what happens to millions of hens every single year. We just did an investigation of a Trader Joe's egg farm in Michigan, and what we found is hens languishing in their own feces. They were trapped outside of the barns in piles and piles of manure with no food or water. Many of them had already died, but we found one bird, and her name is Lucy, and she was dehydrated, but she was still alive, and we were able to rescue her and bring her to sanctuary. And Trader Joe's has the audacity to say that these egg farms are humane, that they are natural, that they are ethical, that they're good for the environment and sustainable, and we know that that is not true. So please call Trader Joe's, call the number in the description of this video, and post below when you've done that, and tell them to stop calling these products of violence natural. And yes, if people are wondering, that is real feces.
So Cassie over here is basically, as you can see, drowning in her own, not her own, but in feces, and this is real manure. And Lucy, who's a little chicken that was found at a Trader Joe's farm, was also basically stuck inside and trapped inside of a manure pile, and she couldn't get out. So imagine being trapped in manure, not having any access to food or water, and this is exactly what hens like Lucy were experiencing. And that's why we have bloody egg cartons here, which illustrate the dirt, the feces, the blood on these eggs, all while companies like Trader Joe's talk about how great, responsible, and humane their products are. So what we're doing today is bringing light, exposing darkness, and bringing light to what's happening behind the egg industry and in animal ag.
Absolutely. And people might not know, but the animal agriculture industry produces so much waste and so much devastation to the environment. They produce 7 million pounds of waste every minute. Not every year, not every month, not every day. 7 million pounds of waste every minute. This is the reason our planet is being destroyed. And companies like Trader Joe's are saying that this is natural and that this is humane, and there's nothing natural or humane about this. So please call them and let them know that you do not approve of them marketing their products like this when it is clearly a lie. I'm going to show you some of the people who are watching this demonstration. So a lot of people have joined the live stream recently. If you're not sure what's going on, we have an activist here lying in piles of real feces. She is lying in piles of feces to represent what happens to millions of animals in the animal agriculture industry every year, and represent what happened to little Lucy, who is a hen that we rescued from a Michigan egg farm. activists like Eva and Sarah risked their freedom to save Lucy from a life of hell. And Lucy was able to be saved, but there are so many other hens who need to be saved too. And San Francisco is doing amazing work banning fur, and now we need them to take action for animals in the animal agriculture industry. So there are 300 million hens suffering in egg farms right now at this very moment. 300 million individuals, just like Lucy, who wanted to be free, and we need to do something to take action for them. So that is why Cassie is here today. If you're wondering, yes, this is Real Feces, and she's lying in a pile of this, and this is in the middle of the street in downtown San Francisco. We are right outside of Trader Joe's. It is real. This is Real Feces. This is what is happening to millions of hens every year. And from a safety perspective too, we have to wonder, like, how is this okay for people to be putting this in their bodies, you know? We often hear of salmonella outbreaks that are killing children and elderly people, and most of them are linked to eggs because, of course, if you're raising animals in filth and these are where your eggs are coming from, is literally piles of shit, of course it's making people sick. So please, if you have not already, call the Trader Joe's food safety line. The number is in the description, and ask them to take action against these practices and stop calling eggs from farms like this natural.
This is very educational.
Thank you. Do you want to share anything on the video? Do you have any thoughts about what's going on?
Yeah, this is very educational because me as a disabled person and a person that as a community activist, this is very knowledgeable to all communities and all people.
Thank you.
Because I was just looking at a video of them showing cancers in the meats and stuff that they're not notifying the public of. And I'm just mortified that we're living at this days and times that they're not notifying of I have to find the right words, that we're living in these conditions in these days and times, and they need to clean it up. This is totally unacceptable.
It's bad for us as humans, it's bad for the animals, and it's bad for the planet. Absolutely.
Yes,
thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Do you have any thoughts about the demonstration?
Very
So as you can see, Cassie is literally drowning in a pile, and yes, this is real manure, this is real feces, and this is representing what happens to all of these animals every year in the industry. And if you think that this is an anomaly, I can tell you that we have been to dozens of egg farms, and we have never seen an egg farm that looks good. Regardless of if it's cage-free or free-range or pasture-raised or certified organic or whatever you want to call it, all of these animals are suffering. All of them are suffering, and many of them die before they even reach the slaughterhouse. And if you're wondering why egg-laying hens are going to the slaughterhouse, it's because after 2 to 3 years, when they are no longer considered profitable, they are killed. So eggs are just as bad for animals as eating meat or drinking milk. And so we're asking Trader Joe's to stop calling farms like this natural or certified humane or any of these other euphemisms that they're using, because this is not what I would call natural or safe for human consumption, and it's certainly not good for animals.
And we hear words like sustainable being thrown around. Folks, I just want to let you know that millions of pounds of feces are not sustainable for the planet. They're certainly not sustainable for the hens that are drowning in their own feces. And that's why Cassie's covered in a real manure. So people are asking us over here, is this real? And we are saying, yes, this is real manure, because Cassie is here to show solidarity with birds who are right now trapped in their own feces. And one of the things that happens is when you're trapped and you are so small you can't get out, and there's pounds and pounds of feces, you have no access to food or water. So So that little hen that we found, Lucy, was basically starving to death, and she was forced to eat her own feces. And this, to me, sounds like a horror story, where humans are basically forcing innocent animals like chickens to feed on their own feces because they have no access to food or water.
I could not imagine living like this every day. I could not imagine living like this and having someone call this natural for me to live my life this way.
And Cassie, what motivated you to do this?
Well, I saw the conditions from the investigation that Lucy and the other animals were living in, and I want the public to realize that that's the lie that's being sold to them, and a lot of people are getting that message today.
So for folks who are just joining, wondering what's going on, we are outside of Trader Joe's in San Francisco. You can smell us from quite a while away because we have an activist who is covered in real manure, real feces to demonstrate what is happening to animals across the animal agriculture industry, and specifically in a Trader Joe's egg farm that we investigated in Michigan. DXE activists went to this Michigan egg farm, which is called Certified Humane, and sells eggs to Trader Joe's that are labeled as natural, and they found birds who are literally drowning in their own feces. They are trapped outside of barns. They don't have access to food or water, so many of them starve to death, or they have to eat feces in order to survive. And this is not okay. And the average person is not going to be okay with this. And Trader Joe's, though, is selling it with a nice pretty box and some nice words to make people feel good. And we know that that's not the truth. We know that people don't want to hurt animals. So we are bringing this very clear image to all these consumers and saying, this is what you're supporting when you're buying Trader Joe's eggs. This is what Trader Joe's is calling natural. So please, if you have not already, it is really, really important that you take action and call the number in this description. Call the number and tell them that you do not want Trader Joe's calling eggs that come from farms like this natural. So please, when you have made the call, post below so other people know where that other people are calling. Let's keep calling and keep putting pressure on them, because if enough people take action, we actually could have them do something about this. So every year, there are tens of millions of pounds of waste produced by the egg industry alone. So the egg industry alone produces tens of millions of pounds. And what other people don't know is that animal agriculture as a whole produces 7 million pounds of waste every single minute. So that sounds like a number that would be atrocious if it was every single year, but it's actually every single minute that this is happening. And all of this waste is being dumped into our environment. A lot of it is sprayed into the air and water of low-income communities. And so people of color and poorer folks are being disproportionately affected by this industry. And this is a photo of Eva, an incredible activist from Chicago who is taking Lucy out of this farm. And she brought her to safety. She took her out of this pile of feces where she had nothing to eat other than her own feces, and she brought her to a sanctuary, to a vet, to get the treatment that she deserves. Is there anything that you want to say, Dylan, about this, investigation or this action?
Yeah, I mean, the number of people here just shows how appalling it is for anybody to be living in this kind of environment. And birds are really clean animals. They don't want to be living in their own feces. They need access to a way to be clean, a way to live. So it's just terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, if you've ever seen a chicken, like they love to dust bathe, they want to be clean, they don't want to be lying in their own feces, and some of these birds are physically trapped. Like they're trapped in there, and in this investigation we actually saw animals who were stuck. They were stuck in their own feces, they couldn't get out, and they had no choice but to just kind of eat their own poop, and many of them died, and this is not okay. And so please make that call to Trader Joe's and get them to stop calling eggs that come from farms like this natural. Cassie, is there anything you want to add? How are you feeling?
This is very uncomfortable. I'm cold, it smells horrible, and I want to shower right now, but I know that these animals never get to be clean in their entire lives, that they live like this for months and then they're slaughtered.
A lot of people on the live stream are very concerned about you. They're like, get her out of there. Do you think you can make it for a little bit longer, or was this your idea first of all?
It was a number of people's ideas, but I definitely volunteered for this role, so don't worry about me. I would just love for you to make the call and to speak up for the animals who have to live like this every single day of their lives.
Yeah. So we are right here, a busy San Francisco street, and we are right outside of the Trader Joe's, as you can see right here. Right there. A lot of people have seen it. A lot of people are really appalled to learn that this is real feces, but that is what is happening to animals. And if you think you're not eating feces, if you're consuming animal products, then you're wrong. You know, there is so much dirt and filth in the eggs, in the dairy, in the flesh that we are consuming, you know, and it's also just not good for humans either. A lot of people may hear about, you know, salmonella outbreaks, and they're common in eggs, as I mentioned before. This is because there's literally like shit in the eggs. And you know, people are dying, non-humans are dying of course, but also humans. Babies and elderly people are dying. So we have the police here, so I'm gonna try to just keep you updated on this interaction here. I think the guy looks pretty confused himself. I'm just, yeah. So 7 million pounds of waste every day. Every day. I'm not very good at math, but that is a lot of waste that is happening. I'm just going to show you some pictures from the investigation. So this is actually a pile of shit outside of this Michigan Trader Joe's Whole Foods farm. It is certified humane. And I don't know if you can see, but there is literally like a decomposing body in there. This is someone who died, covered in feces, and this is certified humane. And this is Lucy before she was rescued. She is trapped in feces, as you can see. This is outside the barn, so she's not even inside. This is at night. She's trapped out there, trapped in feces. And when she was rescued, and we took her to the vet, it was found that she was like severely dehydrated. And here we have Eva, who's taking her out. You can see, I don't know how clearly you can see in the photo, but her face is covered in feces. Her beak is covered in feces, probably because she's had to be eating that. I don't know if you have anything you want to say about this, Tanya?
Yeah, I think it's really important that, you know, everybody here has a right to know what's happening to animals in these farms, and like Trader Joe's saying that this is certified humane and natural, it's completely wrong. It's important that we bring the perspective of the animals to everybody here in San Francisco and everybody across the world. And you know, like you mentioned, San Francisco banned the sulfur, but we have so much work to do still. And I put the feces on top of Cassie, and I felt for Cassie, and you know, I even got it on myself. But at the same time, I was just thinking that there's so many animals right now who are laying in feces because of Trader Joe's or companies like Trader Joe's. So that has to end.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I want people to think, like, what would you do and what would you want other people to do if you were trapped in a farm in your own feces and someone else was selling your eggs and calling it natural? Like, what would you want people to do? And I think people, if I was in that position, I would definitely want people to take action for me. So please call the number if you haven't already. Call the Trader Joe's number and tell them that this is not natural and that you are upset by this investigation. If you go to, is it TraderJoe'sWasteland.com?
Yes,
TraderJoe'sWasteland.com. You can see footage and video from this investigation of a Michigan Trader Joe's egg farm.
So the police are telling us we can stay here as long as we want, especially if we move this over.
No, take it out of me.
You might have to take it home.
Oh yeah, we could take it.
Is there like... There's a charging port right there. I wonder if that would charge them. No.
Wait, what?
That charging port right there, I wonder if it could charge your phone. But there's charging batteries for the motor, I guess. Yeah. But you could pull it out.
All right, folks, we're gonna try to pull the phone out of the gimbal here and get a new battery going.
No,
so
we're here, basically, we did an investigation on Trader Joe's big farm.
Here, use mine.
And we found trapped piles of their own feces. They couldn't move, they couldn't get food or water, and they're dying without and basically,
all right, folks, sorry for that little delay because we are now charging my phone so we can show you more of what's going on. And the police have actually told us we can kind of stay here for as long as we want, which is great. If you're just joining now, let me show you what we're doing here.
That way she can get it.
So this is a demonstration outside of a busy Trader Joe's in San Francisco. We're downtown San Francisco, it's lunchtime, and this is what we're showing to the public. This is an activist who is lying in real manure, real feces, and this is to demonstrate what we found at a Trader Joe's egg farm in Michigan. So activists like Eva and Sarah went to a Trader Joe's egg farm in Michigan that was certified humane, and this is what they found. They found birds who were trapped in their own feces. They found birds who had no access to food and water. They were trapped outside. Many of them had already died. And one of them, Lucy, was struggling to survive, but she was still alive. And they took her out of this egg farm, brought her to the vet. She recovered and she's at a sanctuary now. But this is what Trader Joe's is calling natural. This is what they're calling humane, and there's nothing okay with this. So please call Trader Joe's and tell them to stop calling products that come from farms like this natural. So, if you don't know, the animal agriculture industry is one of the biggest polluters in the entire world. They produce 7 million pounds of waste every minute. Every minute, 7 million pounds of stuff like this is being put into our environment, and it is destroying our water, it is causing climate change, it is causing health problems for humans, particularly people in low-income communities, people of color. If you look up environmental racism, you can see this. So this is an issue that is affecting everybody. Cassie, you've been here now for a while. How are you holding up?
I'm very uncomfortable.
Yeah, are you cold or
all of those things?
Yeah.
And that was expected, I think.
Yeah, and so what is the ask? What are we asking people to do?
Well, we're asking everyone to wake up to this reality out here on the street today, and all of you on the live stream, please share the live stream and please make the call. Oh, there's stuff in my eye now. Please make the call. It's starting to rain, so make the call to this Trader Joe's food, what are their name? Food safety director? Yeah, there's
Cassie's
someone
delusional from the
No, there's someone with the official title of the food safety director, and yet we know that the food, so-called food, is not safe at all. So please make the call and ask them to stop calling these products humane, to stop calling them natural, to cut ties with egg producers in general.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm getting told to move so other people can take pictures.
Yeah,
Great.
basically we're here, in response to an investigation we did of Trader Joe's egg farm. We found dozens of birds trapped in piles of their own feces. Their legs were stuck, they couldn't move, they couldn't access food or water. We found countless dead birds in this situation. And basically, so this activist here has covered herself in a pile of manure to kind of illustrate the same point, to bring attention to the millions of animals every year that are languishing in these kind of situations. This was a certified humane farm that supplies Trader Joe's, and their eggs were labeled as natural. Sorry. Okay.
So that's Lewis. They're explaining to all the people who are watching this like what is going on, because everyone can smell the demonstration and they can also see, and people are like, what on earth is happening? And a lot of people just don't know how cruel, how filthy, and how dangerous the egg industry is. Dangerous for the chickens, of course, and also for the environment and for humans. You know, you hear a lot about children and elderly people dying from salmonella, and this is why, because there's literally like shit all over the eggs, and this is called natural. And these animals are living in really, really stressful, horrific conditions where they don't get to exhibit any of their natural behaviors. Chickens like to dust bathe, they want to be clean, and these animals are literally stuck in feces, and that is not okay. And when you look at Certified Humane, it says that they are allowed to exhibit their natural behaviors, they have access to food and water, and this is just clearly not true.
Yeah, that's fine. You're fine. Okay, hold on. Don't.
Do you have any thoughts that you want to share, Rachel?
I just think it's really important to raise awareness to what is actually going on in these so-called natural, humane farms. The majority of people who buy eggs, like from Trader Joe's, probably think that they're buying a humane product just because there's a label on it, and it's just a shame that the consumers are being lied to, and it's just not right. Nobody wants to be trapped in feces. Nobody wants to starve and be forced to the point that they have to eat their own poop. Like, it's just awful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I give a lot of credit to Cassie for putting herself in this situation.
Yeah. So there's an investigation of a Trader Joe's egg farm in Michigan, and we found hens who were literally trapped in their own feces. This is real manure. They were trapped in their own feces. They didn't have access to food or water, and Trader Joe's is calling these eggs natural. It's a certified humane farm, and we think that that's just completely absurd if something like this could be considered natural. I mean, it's not, you're not, you know, it's not you, it's not on you, we're just explaining. Yeah, absolutely.
Trader Joe's egg natural, and found called direct
And if people don't know, this is not the first Trader Joe's egg farm that we've investigated, and we've also investigated egg farms that supply Costco, that supply Safeway, that supply Whole Foods, and Sprouts. We have never ever come across an egg farm that looks good. It does not matter what label you put on the container, if it says certified humane or ethical or free range or organic, the hens are suffering. There is inherent violence in the egg industry. I encourage you to do your research and see what happens to hens in the egg industry, and then you will understand why it doesn't really matter the different types of cages they put them in, or the different labels they put on the package. The egg industry is inherently violent, and we need to speak up for these animals, and we need to give them rights so that it's not allowed for them to be exploited. Because the really bizarre thing is that in many states this is just legal, but if you ask people, do you want animals to suffer, they say no. So it's time that our law evolves and changes to include more animals, and San Francisco just made a huge step in that direction by banning fur. Yesterday was amazing. We're so excited, but there's a lot of work left to do, and that includes giving rights and protections to animals who are suffering in farms as well. Hadley, is there anything that you want to say about the demonstration or what you're witnessing?
Yeah, just to all the folks who care about justice and feel that justice is something important. These industries are an environmental disaster, they are a social justice disaster, they are an ethical disaster. We know that animal agriculture, including the egg industry, is a leading cause of climate change, of ocean dead zones, of deforestation, of the pollution of rivers and airways. So it's really horrific. And we also know that these farms are disproportionately located in low-income communities and communities of color, which is a complete social justice disaster and is very unfair to those folks. And then for the animals, of course, like this individual here, Lucy, who was rescued from a farm in Michigan, a Trader Joe's farm, that they claim that this is certified humane, that this is natural. There is nothing humane about this. There's nothing humane about what Cassie here is demonstrating that Lucy was going through. It's incredible suffering that these animals are experiencing, and it's not all right. Yeah, so for those who care about justice, animal agriculture is not compatible with that vision.
Absolutely. Colleen says well said. And this is Lucy, this is how we found her, and this is what Cassie is doing to represent. She is covered in feces just like Lucy was on a Trader Joe's egg farm. Lucy was on this farm in Michigan, and now Cassie is here right outside the Trader Joe's in San Francisco, a busy street during lunchtime. And she is showing what is happening to animals in the egg industry and in other industries too. If you've ever seen footage from a dairy farm, these animals are also covered in shit. If you saw Zoe and a Tarot, Kids Confront CAFOs yesterday, they were seeing how those animals are in the Harris Ranch are also covered in their own feces, often trapped in there. So this is just an industry that is exploiting animals and at the same time destroying our environment. So if you didn't hear me say this at the beginning, the animal agriculture industry produces 7 million pounds of waste every single minute. Not every single year or every single month, every single minute. 7 million pounds of waste are going into the ocean, into the rivers, into the air, into these cesspools. And it is destroying our environment, it is destroying our water, and we have these bloody egg cartons that are just representing this as well. How this is a bloody industry because it is killing so many hens and also killing humans when humans get sick from eating products.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've ever had a chance to meet chickens, but chickens are some of the cleanest animals, and they don't like to be trapped in their own feces, just like humans. There's no way that we would be happy living in a situation like this. And if you ever hung out with a chicken, they love to clean themselves. They do like dust bathing, but they don't like to be covered in their own feces. And this is the reality that Trader Joe's and companies like Trader Joe's are forcing on innocent animals who are otherwise some of the cleanest beings on the planet. They're forcing them to feed on their own feces. So we really need you to take action. Please call the phone number that's being posted in the comments and take action against this. She literally does feel trapped, and her arm is getting numb. She's shivering, and these are the conditions that these poor animals are exposed to in animal ag.
Yeah, so if you called, please post below. I want to see how many people have called the number. Please post if you have called. Yeah. And what should people ask when they call?
Well, let's ask companies like Trader Joe's to stop trapping animals in their own feces, to shut down these egg farms that have no reason to be producing 7 millions and millions of pounds of waste. And yeah, please call the number, post below when you've done so. this really does help. If you make a call, that makes a difference.
Okay, though.
I'm okay, thank you so much.
So we have a lot of people who are actually quite concerned about Cassie. You know, this is not a pleasant experience that she's doing. Thank you so much, Jessica, who said she called and left a message. Johnny called and left a message. Thank you. A Tarot says that they are going to call. Oh, and Nalita also, thank you so much. When we make calls like this, we show that the public does care about this issue. And I have had conversations with Trader Joe's managers. I have had, you know, I've sat down and had coffee with the Trader Joe's manager, and he said when customers and the public call, they listen. They listen to people because the bottom line is they want to make money. And if they know people are upset with their company, if they're doing things like this and don't want to shop there anymore, then hopefully they listen. So thank you, Leanna, for calling and leaving a message. Yvonne, also, it sounds like maybe this woman who's on the line is getting bombarded with calls, so leaving a message is totally fine. And thank you so much. Miriam is calling all the way from Australia. So please, if you haven't already, call and then also share this video so we can get even more people to call and show Trader Joe's that we take this issue very seriously. So some people want to hear from you again, Cassie, because they're worried about you. What do you have to say?
Well, thank you very much. Someone also just came and asked me if I need any clothes or any hot water. That's very kind, but really I want people to call Trader Joe's. I want people to share this live stream and to send a message for the animals, because I can get up and get warm in a few minutes, but they will never be warm, they'll never be clean. This is their life forever.
Did you do this action voluntarily?
Yeah, I volunteered for this role as soon as the action was brought up, because I can't imagine living like this for my whole life, and I want to experience it briefly just to be able to empathize with something that is so far beyond what I can even comprehend.
Yeah, thanks, Cassie. Yeah, and Cassie's going to be here for, you know, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, and the hens did not do this voluntarily at all, and they definitely don't have any way of just getting up and having a nice shower, which Cassie's going to do when this is over. They are trapped here for their entire lives until they sometimes die of starvation and dehydration in these egg farms, or you know, they're killed, taken to a slaughterhouse when they're 2 to 3 years old because they don't produce enough eggs anymore. All of the hens in the egg industry end up dead. So if you think there's no slaughter in the egg industry, then unfortunately you've been mistaken, because this is an industry that kills millions of chickens every year. And right now at this very moment, there are 300 million egg-laying hens in this country trapped in farms just like this. 300 million right at this moment who are suffering, and they need help. And we're asking San Francisco to take action for these animals as well, because they just made historic legislation pass yesterday for the fur ban, and this is incredible, and they are protecting fur-bearing animals, and we love that. And now we need to protect animals in agriculture industry as well. Katie is sending love from Illinois. Thank you, Katie. I think a lot of people are calling, and I'm being directed over here.
Yeah, so we see here so many people walking by and watching our action. There's so many people asking questions. I actually just talked to a couple people who were very interested in what we were doing, and they were very shocked to find out what's happening in this Trader Joe's farm. And you know, the public doesn't really know what's happening to these animals, and they should know what's happening. And that's why I think it's incredible that Cassie is doing this, so people can see the truth that Trader Joe don't want us to know.
Can you explain a little bit what's happening on the sign that you're holding here?
Yeah, here we have Eva, one of our activists who went to a Michigan egg farm, and she rescued a hen who was literally just laying in her own feces. That's what's happening in that egg farm. You know, they call it certified humane, they call it natural, but that is far from the truth. There's nothing natural, there's nothing humane about torturing and exploiting animals for human consumption. There's nothing ethical, there's nothing humane about killing animals, having them lay in their own feces just so that we can consume their eggs or any other animal products.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what should people do?
I think people should call Trader Joe's to let them know that this is not okay. We need to show that, you know, people can show Trader Joe's that there's nothing good about killing and exploiting animals for food. And just share the live stream and, you know, keep taking action for animals. Call the number and comment once you call the number, so everybody, you know, can see that that we really care. The public really cares about this stuff.
Absolutely. Carol said she called, and Emek also said she called. A lot of people are having to leave messages. That's totally fine. Leave a message. And, you know, Carol said, I can't believe Michigan treats animals like this, and it's horrible, but literally we have investigated farms in so many different states, and they're all the same. Every farm is exploiting animals. All of them are profiting off of the bodies of animals and destroying the environment. In multiple countries, in multiple states, this is an inherently violent industry, and we want it to end. Yes.
Maybe I could share a little bit about the chickens that I grew up with.
Sure. You gotta get real down there to get in the shot with Cassie. Yeah, there you go.
I grew up with chickens. We had a little shelter for them that they would stay in at night, and then I would let them out every morning during the day.
Yeah.
And chickens are not objects as much as they are commodified in these industries. They each have their personality, and they're actually very social animals. They live in a flock, and growing up with them, they would run all around outside the yard, and they had friendships. They had little cliques. They would hang out, some chickens with the other chickens, and they were very loyal as well. We had one chicken called Big Guy, and he actually died defending the flock when a raccoon came and tried to attack. He gave his life for the flock. These animals are all individuals, and they have social relationships and families, and they want to live. And so we talk about these conditions not being natural because they're confined and they're inside and they're in their feces, which is horrible. And on top of that, they're not natural because chickens are flock animals. They want to be outside, having social relationships, being with their chicken communities. And so there's absolutely nothing natural about what goes on in these farms. There's nothing humane about this. It's atrocious that this is happening. We have to take a stand about it. And so thank you all who are calling right now. That's really incredible. And keep calling. For y'all who are just joining right now, please call the number in the live stream and tell Trader Joe's that we need to shut down these farms because this is not okay. There's nothing humane about this. There's nothing natural about this, and this needs to end.
Awesome. Thank you, Hadley. So I think Cassie's been here now for almost 1 hour, which seems like a really long time, but for the animals, they are there for weeks, maybe months, and they have nowhere to go. They have to eat their own feces. Like, Cassie, what would you think if you were trapped here for like a whole day with nothing to eat? Like, what would you do?
I would go as long as I could without eating. I do not want to eat feces, but if I were going to die, I think I would do the same thing Lucy was doing. And
Yeah, when we rescued her, she had her beak covered in feces. She was really dehydrated, and there were other birds out there who also, you know, were dead already, probably just didn't make it. And, you know, Cassie is shivering here. It's cold. This is a farm in Michigan. It was at night when Lucy was out there, and, you know, this is just a horrible thing to be happening. And what's really scary is that Lucy is one individual. She's one hen who had this whole experience, a personality, and she was suffering and she was rescued and all these things. And there are 300 million animals just like Lucy who need our help. And it's such a large number that people can't even comprehend. 300 million hens, and they need you to speak up for them. So please take action for animals and call the office at Trader Joe's.
Just like us! Don't fight Trader Joe's lies! Animals do not want to die! Don't fight the humane lie! Animals do not want to die! Humane eggs are alive!
Animals do not want to die!
Humane eggs are alive! Animals do not want to die! It's not food! It's violence! It's violent! Animals want to live! Just like us! Animals want to be free! Just like us! Animals want to be with their families! Just like us!
So someone was asking, what's the alternative? What can we do if we don't want eggs? Well, there are so many alternatives to things like if you're using eggs in baking, you can look up how to replace eggs in baking. There's other alternatives in the market, but at the end of the day, we don't need eggs to survive. We do not eat eggs to survive, and the chickens need to not be in egg farms in order to survive. It is a life or death situation for them, and it's not a life or death situation for us. So please take action by calling the Trader Joe's headquarters and asking them to stop calling farms like this humane, and also by taking action for animals in your own communities.
Joy! Just like us! Animals want to live! Just like us! Animals deserve to be free! Just like us! Don't fight the humane life! Animals do not want to die! Don't fight Trader Joe's life! Animals do not want to die! Humane eggs are alive! Animals do not want to die! Don't fight Trader Joe's life! Animals do not want to die! Animals feel pain! Just like us! Animals want to live! Just like us! Animals want to be free! Just like us! Animals want to be with their families! Just like us! It's not food! It's violence! It's not food! It's violence! It's no kindness! It's not food! It's violence! Killing is no kindness! It's not food! It's violence! Don't fight the humane life! Animals do not want to die!
So if you're just joining us and you're like, what on earth is happening? We have an activist outside of Trader Joe's who is covered in real feces. And the reason she is doing this is because she is showing what happens to chickens in a Trader Joe's egg farm. We did an investigation. Thank you so much to Eva and Sarah who did this investigation of a Michigan-based certified humane egg farm that supplies to Trader Joe's. And when we went to this farm, what we saw is animals who were trapped in their own feces. Animals like Lucy, a tiny hen who was dehydrated and starving when we found her. And the reason she was dehydrated and starving is because she didn't have access to any food because she was trapped outside in piles of her own feces. And Trader Joe's is saying that this is natural. There's nothing natural about this. So please call Trader Joe's and post below when you call them. We want to see if you have called them so we can encourage more people to call. So call and then post that you've done this and share the video so more people can call and ask them to stop calling products like this natural and humane.
Animals do not want to die!
We had someone join her.
Animals do not want to die! Animals feel pain! Just like us! Animals want to live! Just like us! Animals feel pain! Just like us!
This guy just joined us and he's got a great chanting voice. So if you ever see our demonstrations, join on in. We always love new people to come. And that's awesome. Thank you, Jessica, for sharing. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gino, who called and shared. That's awesome. Thank you for doing that. Tasha says, wish I could be there. Well, you know what? Everyone's going to have an opportunity to come together May 23rd to the 29th for the Animal Liberation Conference. This is going to be 1,000 animal rights activists coming together in the Bay Area. Go to liberationconference.com and you can be here, and we're going to do awesome stuff all together at the end of May. There are 900 people, more than 900 people registered already. It's going to be amazing. Glenn Greenwald's going to be there, Nellifer, another journalist. The Save Movement is collaborating with us. It's going to be a really amazing event. I hope to see you all there.
Animals do not want to die! Animals do not want to die! Don't fight Trader Joe's life! Animals do not want to die! Don't fight Trader Joe's life! Animals do not want to die! Humane eggs are alive! Animals do not want to die! Humane eggs are alive! Animals do not want to die! Humane killing is alive!
the demonstration?
Everyone has a right to speak.
Yeah, we're not upset at you, because I don't think you have any control over this, but we did an investigation of a Trader Joe's egg farm and in Michigan, and we found animals like literally trapped in their own feces like this, and it's eggs that Trader Joe's is calling natural. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that. Do you think it's okay?
Thoughts on her, that sucks for her.
Yeah, I mean, it was voluntary for her, but it's not voluntary for the animals.
Good luck with that. Yeah, just try to clean it all up when you're done.
So we have a big crowd again here. I'm going to show you.
Animals feel pain!
Just like us!
Animals want to live!
Just like us!
Animals want to be free!
Just like us!
Don't buy Trader Joe's lies!
Animals do not want to die!
Don't buy Trader Joe's lies!
Animals do not want to die!
Don't buy the humane lies!
Animals do not want to die!
Humane eggs are a lie!
Lucy, we're going to shut it down soon. What are your last thoughts here?
It's a lie!
Lying here is really hard, but I think the worst part is just that I have nothing to do but think about what these animals are living through. So thank you for watching and for thinking about that and for caring and for sharing this live stream and doing everything you're doing for animals. Keep it up because we're making change.
And will we see you at the Animal Liberation Conference?
Of course, it's the best week of the year. I hope all of you can come.
Is it better than lying in your own feces?
It's much better than that.
Trader Joe's lies!
Animals do not want
People
to
are saying that
die!
you rock, Cassie, and I agree. We are going to be shutting down this live stream, and if you have not already, please do a few things. The first thing that you should do is call Trader Joe's. The number is in the description. Call Trader Joe's and tell them that they cannot call farms like this natural because this is completely unnatural, bad for animals, bad for humans, bad for the planet. So please call Trader Joe's. And the second thing that you can do is share this video so that more people can also call Trader Joe's and see what is happening. And the last thing you can do is find a community of animal rights activists and get involved in doing all types of work like outreach, protests, community building. You can find a DXC chapter, Anonymous for the Voiceless, SAVE. There's so many different options. So call Trader Joe's, share the video, find a community, and get active for animals. See you all at the Animal Liberation Conference in May. We have made amazing strides here in San Francisco. Yesterday we banned fur. Next thing you know, maybe we're going to ban eggs. How amazing would that be? And we're going to do it only if we have a large number of people taking action. So thank you all so much. Share this video, make the call. See you in May.